All right, golf fans. With the PGA Championship around the corner, we're bringing on our golf specialist, Vito, live on location at Kiowa Island. Who's going to talk to us a little bit about the upcoming tournament this weekend. Vito, glad to have you on this little YouTube special.
Thanks for having me, Bobby. And yes, I wish I was live from Kiowa this week, but you can thank COVID for that one.
Yeah, and the budget. We just didn't have it in the budget to send you down there.
Not even a stipend would have been coming my way. So
No, no,
we'll
we had.
take it.
Uh, um, so we got the PGA Championship upcoming, and I have like a nightmare story from of the PGA Championship, where 10 years ago, Jason Duffner basically absolutely shafted me. The 2011 Keegan Bradley cost me $5,100, and so I have a nightmare. I try to avoid this tournament at all cost, but tell us what you see for the weekend. What do you think about the tournament coming up this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one because the last time we were at Kiowa in 2012, it was the first time it had hosted a major championship. So it was fairly new in the rotation. And I mean, aside from really Rory McIlroy absolutely demolishing the field and just, you know, using that high draw off the tee that he was known for at the time, it was a pretty tough test. So I think this year we're going to see the course. It'll be a little tougher, and that's going to be due to the fact that we're playing it in May this year as opposed to August, which was the case in 2012.
And a course this length, you kind of need that heat because the ball go a little bit further, right? Like, am I?
You're a lot, yeah. I mean, definitely the heat is a factor, but it's going to be pretty warm. I think Celsius wise, it'll be in the mid 20s all week. But at 78, 76, almost 7,900 yards, it's a beast. It's going to get firm, and the winds are going to be up to about 15-mile-per-hour gusts. So it's going to be almost like a link style course, and
Yeah.
it's oceanside, so you're going to be getting some swirling winds and a change of direction from day to day. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you because you're off the ocean. You get you're gonna get like you said, link style, like high draw, like players that kind of have a higher ball flight. They're at a little bit of they can be at a disadvantage in this kind of conditions. No.
Yeah, I think you might see some guys play a lower spinning golf ball in these types of conditions. And I know a lot of guys tinker with that throughout the year. But I mean, I think the big thing is going to be it's going to be a second shot course for these guys. So obviously being in play is a huge advantage off the tee. But that being said, it's going to be a ball striker who's going to really uh, be at the top of the leaderboard come Sunday because without an iron game and without ball striking, it's going to be tough to navigate this track.
So give me a couple guys that you think are in that category of the good ball strikers that are going to be in contention at the end.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to ignore the fact that Rory won a couple weeks ago for the first time in a little while. It seems like guys that have won on tracks before, they have that sense of comfort. So Rory being the last person to win a major on this course, you have to like his chances. I think with Rory though, Bobby, the big thing is in 2012 he drove the ball like an absolute machine. His driving's been a little off lately. But his putter kind of woke up the last event that he won. So I'm thinking, it would be hard to bet against Rory, and he's the favorite going into it. But ball striking wise, there's some really interesting names on the on I mean in the field this week. A guy like Xander Schauffele for me really sticks out. I think he's a guy that he's going to win a major sometime soon. And maybe this could be his week, right? He's this really strong iron player. And you never know. When it comes to the PGA Championship, we've had many surprise winners in the past. It's just one of those tournaments where, someone catches lightning in a bottle and they're able to be there on Sunday with that Wanamaker Trophy in their hands.
Okay, you got anybody else you want to talk about? Any dark horses? Any guys that, for a guy like me, a big betting guy, I like, throwing a few bucks down on a long shot, like a Jason Duffner, who's
Hmm.
playing plus, playing 340 to one. Give me somebody like that. Give me a long shot that you like.
I'd probably look at someone like Tony Finau as a value bet. If you were looking to kind of seek someone who has a realistic chance, but they're not really favoring him. I think he's at plus 4,000 to win this thing. He's
Oh,
a bomber. He's an absolute bomber of the ball. So I mean, the course being as long as it is, he can take advantage of his distance off the tee, and he's a guy that's been in the mix in a bunch of majors recently. So, like I said, anytime one of these guys can catch lightning in a bottle for 4 days, um, they can end up being the guy at the end of it all, dusting the field. And it could be a guy like Finau this week.
you say plus 4,000, and my gambler spidey senses start going crazy. I start tingling. I get a little excited. I had a little op.
I'm not advocating for anything, Bobby, but these are
Gam-
the odds that Vegas gives us.
Gambling is here, buddy. It's coming. So okay, now this tournament's great. This course is great. Would you say over the last, let's say, 20, 30 years, this is your favorite PGA Championship course, or is there another one that kind of stands out to you?
I think this is probably the most interesting because we're really used to those old school country club type feels when it comes to the PGA Championship. I think aside from Whistling Straits, which is hosted a couple times, that's another beast of a golf course.
Hmm.
And I think, yeah, I mean, for me, this is probably the most intriguing because of all of the different elements that come into play, being an oceanside course, being extremely long, and it has a really kind of links feel to it. But I think if I really had to choose a PGA Championship venue, um, I think Valhalla would be my number one option.
These names, like I love the names of these court, like Bethpage Black. I've always liked Bethpage Black, Quail Hollows. These are like the coolest name. Valhalla. These are absolutely.
Valhalla for me is one of my favorites just because of the fact that Tigers won there twice. I believe. Is it twice? Yeah, something like that. And oh no, he only won there
Once.
once.
Yeah, they won at
Rory,
Medina the other
yeah,
time.
Medina twice, and Rory won the second go around at Valhalla there,
Yeah, yeah, he did.
in the Tiger era anyway.
Yeah, that's just absolutely great name. So you went to the 2013 PGA Championship. Like, what's it like being there for that event?
It's you know what, I say this every time I I go to a live PG Tour event. It's almost like you're shocked at how good these guys are in
Mhm.
person. It's something so simple. It's just the sound of the ball coming off the club face with a driver. I mean, I watched at the Canadian Open a couple of years ago. I went to Hamilton Golf and Country Club to watch one of the rounds there, and I remember being just on the range and watching Justin Thomas, who's like max 5'8", 5'9", absolutely mash the ball. And it's the speed that they generate and it's I mean the way that they can control their swing is something you don't get to see when you're hacking away on a Sunday at one of our public courses here in Ontario, right? So um yeah, that's definitely something that stands out. And it's just being in a live atmosphere where there's something on the line. It's golf. It's it's everyone for themselves essentially. So you're lucky sometimes to be in an environment with some pretty big names, and the crowd just seems to rally around one guy, or two guys, or whatever it may be, and it gets loud, it gets rowdy, and it's fun.
Well, there was one guy that used to generate the biggest roars out of all of them, and yeah, he's obviously not going to be playing this weekend. You're the biggest Tiger fan I know, or one of the biggest Tiger fans I know. What do you see in the future for him?
I mean, can you ever count Tiger out? You know, Bobby. We had
No,
this conversation years ago. I think we were talking about this when he was coming off of the personal
go,
affairs.
go ahead.
And
Go ahead. Full disclosure. You have full disclosure to say what I give you full permission because it was an
I,
embarrassing moment in my life.
I think you said he would never win
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yep.
And then, we know the story. 2019 was special
Oh,
at Augusta for me. Watching that and kind of reminiscing. I've followed Tiger his whole career. I've seen him live a few times, and he's just one of those guys that you can never ever count out. And I think it's his drive. It's his will to always achieve excellence. And it seems like for him, he's never achieved excellence. It's like he's still chasing that elusive stature or level that most of us can't even comprehend, right? So I don't think it's the end. I think it's definitely gonna be a tough road back for him. But at the end of the day, this guy's got so much drive and so much compete in him that if he can walk and he can swing, I give him a chance any day of the week.
yeah, yeah. And I 2019 was if it's not in your top three golf moments of all time, I mean, you're not a golf fan.
I might have that in my top three sports moments of all time.
It was unbelievable, and getting to see Tiger, you know, play with his son at the father son tournament. I mean, I would love to see the ratings on that. I bet you the ratings on that drew more than some of these PGA Tour events. We've said it on the pod a bunch of times. He doesn't move the needle. He is the needle.
Yeah, I mean,
And
and that's Tiger, right? Like I tuned in to that father son challenge. I had never watched it before. I might have tuned in a couple times to see John Daly's kid because
yeah,
they're
yeah,
like it's like he's like a spitting image of his father. But I mean, uh, watching Charlie and Tiger together, the dynamic and Charlie already picking up on his dad's mannerisms and his just I guess that he's got that swagger too, right? So it was interesting. It was all over Twitter. It was all over social media, Instagram, and I think it was definitely something that a lot of people wanted to grasp onto and think that maybe Charlie can give us what Tiger gave us for all those years. But I mean, he's a kid. Let him be a kid.
yeah. Well, yeah. That's a little early to be talking about that, but it was just great. It was a great. It wasn't even a great sports moment. It was a great human moment for me. And then ironically, the crash happens after. It had a little Kobe Bryant feel to it, where he was with his daughter, and it's I don't know. I don't. We can talk about Tiger all day, and I
Mhm.
have on the pod. So let's just cut that off there. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here. I'm giving you give me the winner. Who's winning this weekend? Who's going to be the champion, the PGA champion for 2021?
I've been going over the names, and in my heart of hearts, I want to say Rory McIlroy, but I mean, there's one guy that's been really hot lately, and I think that his game screams major champion. And he's won a major before. He's won this event before, and I think that he can definitely pull it together this week. And I'm gonna say Justin Thomas does it. He won at Quail Hollow for his first major, and I think he's on the cusp of breaking through again. And this kind of course suits him well. He's a great ball striker. If the putter's on, there's no reason why JT can't be running away with this thing, or at least right in the mix.
Yeah. You know what? I got to say something about Justin Thomas. I don't think anybody won more at the match between Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning than Justin Thomas because we finally got to see behind the curtain. It's like, man, this guy's I kind of like this guy. Like he's kind of got a
Yeah.
cool
He,
personality. I kind of liked it. He was the big winner of the weekend, I think, outside of Tom's pants ripping and holing out. He was the winner of that weekend. I didn't really like JT before. I didn't really know much about him, and it's like we get to see that personality, and that's what golf needs. I argue about hockey and baseball. They need that, and golf needs that. Like they're missing with.
yeah,
They need that personality, and I hope they can. They have so many young stars. We'll talk about it another day about Tiger and these stars that are coming up, but. Uh, let's see. Well, I guess we're gonna tune in this weekend. I'll be watching.
absolutely.
I'm gonna be watching for sure now, and I'm putting it down. I'm putting down a bet on Tony Finau. You got me. You got me a little excited on that one.
I think Tony's confident in himself. So that always, that could always be a positive. Some of his pressers this week, he seems like he's in a good place, and you never know. He's got the length.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw a 604-yard par five. I mean, that's
Yeah, there's
that's
some there's some
unbelievable.
there's some beasts for par threes too on this course. So we're gonna see some numbers as we always tend to see when it comes to the PGA Championship, because you got to remember we have a bunch of PGA professionals who've qualified for the tournament. So they're not touring pros, they're teaching pros. Um, it can get a little dicey out there at times for these
They
guys.
they don't let the rough out as much as they do at the U.S. Open, right? Like the U.S. Open's like a year. We'll get two guys under par, and at some tournaments, right?
Yeah,
Like the
it's
PGA, they let them go a little bit more.
it's a different governing body in terms of course setup, right? The USGA obviously receives a lot of flack every US Open when they take it to the extreme. Uh, but the PGA of America seems to get it right most of the time. They like to, showcase the golf course and let the golf course speak for itself. And I think that Kiowa being, a very scenic golf course, oceanside, and I think it'll be great. It's going to be a really fun week.
I can almost promise you it will have some teeth this weekend with that wind coming off the ocean. So we're going to enjoy it. Vito, sorry, I'm so used to saying. Vito, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for doing this. And
Anytime, Bobby.
uh, if you like the pod, if you like this pod, you like golf, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button down low. And for anybody that wants to take a shot, if they can take a shot at my background, what golf course that is, I'll give you a little look there. Give us your questions and comments. Maybe we'll try and bring the winner on the show, or we'll do a little segment with them. But thanks a lot, Vito. Thanks for coming on, and hopefully it's a good weekend.
Thanks, Bob.